What's up, everybody? It's me, MonkeyManDan, and I'm back at you with another Zelda Breath of the Wild video. In the last video, we got pretty far, but not that far. So, in this video, I'm planning on making it further, beating a couple more bosses, maybe like some extra stuff, but only time will tell. So, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the video, y'all. On a little side note, I ended up forgetting to record me going into this temple, but I did record the part where I got the treasure things. So yeah, I ended up getting that. Then I also got my device back, or phone, or carrier or something. And finally, once I got into the actual trial, I was so confused. So I used the remote bomb, but I didn't know how to use it. I only knew how to actually pick it up and whip it out. So I just kept doing that for a little bit until it exploded. And I got the chest though, which was fun. And I got a Traveler's Claymore from it, which is like a sword, a nice sword. But my HP was not looking good. So, yeah, and I completely forgot how to play this game too. I hadn't played it in a couple months. And I have the memory of a goldfish, so I don't remember any of the controls. So while I was figuring that out, I also had to, figure out how to do everything else. And while I was wandering around trying to figure out what all the controls are doing, I stumbled upon this puzzle where I could get this chest, and all I had to do was get flinged like that. But then there was something on the other side. As you can see, I turned over there. Anyways, I got amber from that chest, but you could see that there was this ball being turned. I ended up beating the puzzle. Anyways, I ended up getting the spirit orb from this old monk man, which was pretty cool. I mean, there it is right there. And then this monk Didipla just ended up finishing. Since I defeated the tower, I decided to leave, but I was still learning the controls. So even though I was still learning the controls, I managed to somehow get out of there. And as soon as I got out of there, I saw this bee's hive, which I hit the tree and the bees came out at me. And my aim here sucks. So the bees just, yeah. I did end up getting the beehive though. And it gives 2 hearts. Then I really just walked around collecting fruits and food and all this stuff. I also ended up running into Big Man. And Big Man decided to give me a quest, which was just chop down trees, as you can see. And I got an apricorn, or an acorn. And I tried chopping down the tree that he chopped down, but it didn't work. And once all of that was done, I went back to him and I kind of just looted his house. Then I sat by the campfire that he had going on outside his house and just, put some stuff in it, make them cooked, and I got some extra hearts from it. I also put on some of the gear I got from his house, switching out the old ones and putting in the new ones. And then I slept. And when I woke up, I went straight to a little goblin thing with all these little goblins around. And I ended up getting hunted, but I didn't know completely how to work the shield system or how to take out my shield. So I just played around with it. Eventually, I ended up killing the big 2 goblins that were carrying around the huge wood and trying to hit me with it. But there was still the arrow goblins, so I tried using the detonator that I got from the last monk temple. Then I went out trying to collect materials while getting shot out by the arrow goblin.
And then I finally realized how to bring out my weapon, so I really just pieced this guy up.
And my reward for beating the goblins was getting a spear, as you can see on my back. But then I noticed this area that was closed off by all these branches, so I decided to detonate it, and I got a whole load of bees.
Deku, stop! Deku, I said stop diggling me!
Holy bazooka.
Eventually, though, I did end up running away and scaring the bees off, obviously with my aura, and I did end up getting everything. After that, though, I went back to Big Man's cabin and just looted everything that was around it. After that, though, I ended up running into some, skeleton goblins, and obviously I ended up beating them, but in the process of doing such, I ended up lowering my spear and durability, so I decided to switch over to one of the skeleton arms. So then I went all the way back to spawn and ended up finding the huge church thing that you see at spawn, and I just wandered around there for a little while, saw some goblins, and I ended up smashing a couple vases. And it's really faint, but I did get a chest as well. Then I equipped a different bow. And really just went exploring for a little bit.
A few moments later.
And after 10 minutes of looking for something to do, I finally found this goblin hut. Or at least this guard that was on standby. So I tried figuring out how to get down there. And after 5 minutes of looking, I finally found out how, because I could just slide down. So immediately after I slid down, I wanted to initiate a fight with this goblin. But I was a little bit confused because I didn't know where the other goblins were. So I just started taking what the goblin I killed had. But then I saw all of these guys in the hut. And of course, my spear broke. I didn't catch it on camera, but I ended up switching from nothing to the skeleton hand, as you can see as I'm holding right now. At this point, I was just running and trying to detonate him, because I figured that detonating him would probably do the most damage. Then he broke that skeleton hand. And he ended up killing me. But obviously I wouldn't take that, so I went back to that same spot and started shooting arrows at this guy until I killed him. And then it was really just easy for me, since even though the whole thing reset and I had to kill them all over again, it was really easy because the regular goblins were nowhere as near as strong as the blue goblin. I don't know what he's called. Then I started looting what the goblins had dropped behind when they died. I ended up picking up something called Bokabin guts. I think that's how you pronounce it, but tell me if I'm wrong. Then I got the chest that you get when you defeat a tribe of goblins or Bokabins. I might be wrong, but I got 5 fire arrows. Then I really just went around looking at goblin tribes, or finding where goblins stay at, and just started wiping them out. But after that, for the first time, I found out I could put my weapon on fire. So I just went around with my weapon on fire. But then I found this part of the church structure that was behind the church. So I had to go check it out. Eventually, I ended up finding this goblin just sitting there, so I packed him up and got the chest that he was looking at. Yeah, I got pants. But they're alright. I mean, they're better than my last pants, so eventually I found my way to the top of the broken structure. And I looked around, I mean, it's cool. It's the top of a broken structure. So
Then I climbed to the tippity top, you know, where the roof is, and looked around a little bit. I ultimately ended up going to my left side and just checking out the view, you know. And then I turned around and went to my right side. After equipping the bow that I got from the chest, I went back down, but I went on the wrong side of the church. After getting down, I made my way straight to the hills right beside the church, and I ended up finding this little goblin hut, where obviously I boxed up all the goblins, taking everything they had. The Boko spear, which I'm pretty sure is rare. Either that or I just never encountered those kind of goblins. I also got the steak that they were cooking up, and I collected some materials. I then decided to go to the boundary between the regular land and the snow land, which is really cold. So yeah, it was not looking good for me being there. But at the time, I didn't know until I started taking damage. And that's when I knew I had to get back. Because it was taking a lot of damage. Like half a heart kind of damage. After that, though, I ended up talking to the old man, who was actually just below the little goblin hut where their tribe is. So I ended up getting something from him. I also ended up getting some apples. I also slept at the old man's house till like dark, and then I ended up dying. After I respawned, I immediately went to like the swamp because I knew there was a goblin there, or a goblin tribe there, and I ended up fighting them for a while. But in the end, I ended up using the old 9/11 trick and blowing them up. One of them, though, did end up surviving it, so I knocked him out pretty quickly. If his stupid shield wasn't in the way, though. I also had the guy who was flinging arrows at me, but he wasn't that big of a deal. So I just had to get past that guy, and then I could go on to the arrows. I thought I had ore, so I tried flinging my weapon at the guy, and it missed. So I was gonna end up throwing the bomb at him, but I figured that was just a little too easy, and I've been using the bomb way too much. So I ended up headshotting him, and really got the chest. So I got an opal, which I don't even know if that is the correct way to pronounce it, and as of recording this or as of editing this, I still don't know what it does. But after that, I ended up taking their steak that they were cooking, and then I ended up taking some of their stuff. Then I went exploring a little and got myself in a little bit of trouble with these bats and these skeleton goblins, which grew back if I didn't destroy them twice. And then my weapon broke to a thing that was like not even living and died twice. Not even mentioning it did 0 damage. And after I took them all out, I really just ended up looting what they left behind. Then I tried finding a rock boss that I ultimately ended up dying to. Then I took out another whole group of these goblins. Then I tried hunting this boar that I saw with my bow, but he ended up running away. But I did end up catching up to him, and I shot him. After that, I got the meat that he dropped. Then I got a blue nightshade flower, I think, just sitting behind some bark. And then I went for round 2 against the giant rock boss. So I wanted to start this fight off with a bang, so obviously I used the grenade that I have, just hoping to like get some damage in. Even though the damage was on top of his head, that's the only way to damage him really, but I wasn't sure. So now I'm just trying to like get him closer, under the rock and explode. Now one of his arms are down, so now he's gonna have to try to recover it from underneath, or he doesn't, and instead I get as much time as I want to start dealing damage to this huge rock on top of the rock. After my weapon broke, I had to switch to my axe, because that was the thing that did the best damage. And I did some good damage, at least for a while. And as I was doing damage to this rock, it even dropped a little bit of amber. And then the boss just had to go and knock me off, dealing 2 or at least half a heart of damage, and knocking me back with his arm. Then, as I'm running away, he throws it at me. Thankfully though, I came prepared with a lot of food, so all I had to do was eat a couple mushrooms and I was at pretty good health. Then in retaliation for hitting me a couple times, I threw a bomb at one of his arms right after he healed it, so he would be at least knocked down for a couple of seconds. Then, just because I hate him so much, I used another bomb on his other arm, making him completely useless. But for some reason, I started using my bow to try to hit him, even though that's very unlikely and obvious that I would even make it. And obviously, it didn't work out really well.
Stop!
Then I had to heal up, and he drained all of my apples, which were my main source of healing, because he threw his rock at me. And then he threw another one. So then I tried picking up my grenade and throwing it at him, but I only ended up throwing it at a wall.
This nigga is trash!
And after exploding it and somehow taking no damage, I tried running, and yeah. And even after it was recharged, I tried throwing it but only ended up dropping it, making it roll the exact other way. So I just ended up running. So I did end up using the bomb on him, and it worked, but my aim is horrible and I keep missing with the arrows. So I just keep running away and basically using up all my arrows, and like sometimes missing and sometimes not. Whenever he just gets a little bit too close, I just end up using the grenade and taking out one of his arms. I got a few good hits, and one thing led to another, and I ended up winning. Then I tried doing a little science experiment where the grenade would blow up the tree and the apples would fall, but the grenade rolled and it didn't work out.
This nigga is trash!
Then I wandered around a little bit,
And it was on sight.
until I saw these 2 chests surrounded by a whole bunch of mud. So then I tried getting the 2 chests, and it's a long story. And after a minute of trying, I just gave up. And so I kept walking for a while, just holding the bomb in my hand. And after walking for a while, I found this group of bats, which I one-shotted all of them and collected what they had. And after walking around some more, I found this little structure with this boulder at the top, which I tried knocking over, and it did move, but it made an explosion. And it was a pretty cool explosion, but I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be used for the goblins that I already killed. Then I stumbled upon this chest that was submerged underwater. So I tried swimming over it. That didn't end up working. So I had an idea to use one of my objects, or one of my powers that I gained from beating the temple, which was the magnet ability, in that I can take anything that was made out of metal and just move it around. So I moved the chest out of the water and onto land, and I opened it to get... The thing about the temple, though, is that it's in the snow, right? So it'll take me a while to get there, and I'll probably get a lot of damage dealt to me. I mean, half a heart is a lot in this game to me, so I have to obviously heal. And I have to go through this in the most strategic way possible, and not fall and die like I just did. Eventually, though, I got to the top of the mountain, even though it was freezing cold. Then I saw this boulder, which I tried to move by detonating it, but that didn't end up working, so I ended up using some food to restore my health. Then I figured I was ready to go into the temple. And so I get my special abilities from the special ability giver, or the slate thing. It drops the teardrop on my phone or tablet, but call it whatever you want, really. So basically, with this ability, you can stop objects like in time for a certain amount of time. So I use that to stop the gear that's winding the little board, and so now I really just have to keep running from the rock and stop it. I still end up dying though, because I don't know how to use this ability.
This nigga is trash.
And so after that embarrassing defeat, I go back to the same place and I redo that part. So now I stop it, or I don't, never mind. Now I run back. And now I go back, and I stop it then. Nope, I don't. Yes, now I stop it. So, after that, I'm able to get this sledgehammer just sitting over here. Eventually, though, I am able to make it up to the top, the tippity top, where they lay the treasure chest. The Traveler's Sword is good, but I don't have enough space in my inventory for it, so I kind of have to make room. Eventually, though, I do end up getting the Traveler's Shield, but I do have to trade out my regular shield. And now all I have to do is get back to the temple where the monk is, like the Munkle temple. If that makes sense, which it probably doesn't, but you know, yeah. And then the monk gives this whole speech once I touch the thing, and then it breaks. And the first thing I do immediately when I get out of that temple is go for this rock right here, because now I have the ability to just keep hammering him and just keep it moving until the rock gives out. And now I got this chest all for myself, which I got a traveler's bow from, which it's alright, like, you know. But then I think that's where I'm gonna end the video. If you like the video, please give me a like, and if you're not already, please subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.